Hi and welcome to the Social Commuter Podcast, the marketing podcast keeping you up to date on the go.
With your host, Georgia Smith.
And Eloise Fenwick.
We have an exciting guest, don't we? Carolina
So
from Luxury Collective Monaco. You heard that. We're going quite luxurious for once. She's based in Monaco, if you couldn't tell.
Yeah.
This is the type of things we want to be hearing on this podcast.
It is, and it's something that we haven't really been speaking much about before.
No.
So if you are into luxury marketing or want to get into it, this is the episode for you.
Let's go speak to Carolina. So now we are joined by Carolina, which is so exciting. She knows her stuff. It's a great episode. I think we're both very excited for it.
For this.
You jumped from the corporate world into owning your own business, which is incredibly Luxury Marketing Monaco. You will hear all about it today, but just tell us a little bit about that to start with.
So, hello everyone. Thank you for having me, girls. This has been really quick, but I've been loving it. So thank you for having me. And a little bit about, maybe should I start with myself? Just to, icebreaker. I always define myself as a dog mom and a Disney adult. those are
Perfect
things you need to know about me. But the other thing is I'm also like a workaholic. I have my own business. I have a marketing agency here, which I am the CEO, and I have my business partner, and we're based in Monaco. We are specialized in luxury. We're a 360 degrees agency. And apart from the yours truly agency, that we do have clients, and we have clients of mostly luxury because of the place, right? Monaco, if you know, it's a really, special place. It's a little bubble, I like to call it. So apart from that, we also are launching the Luxury Club, which is our membership to learn and connect about, to learn about luxury industry and connect with professionals that are involved in it. So that's in a nutshell, what we do, who I am, and yeah.
Perfect.
Fabulous.
In a nutshell.
I love that. So luxury marketing is not something that we talk about quite a lot on this podcast.
No.
We're very, very excited to get a new perspective on everything. So Carolina, how do you elevate a brand on social media to align it with the luxury sector compared to a standard brand?
So, I like to say this, I mean, if you follow me on socials and if you meet me in person, I repeat this like, I don't know, 3,000 times a day. But the first thing I think it's really important is that luxury marketing is not the same as, let's say, standard marketing. There's a lot of rules that change that definitely have nothing to do with, let's say, the standard marketing. So having that in mind, and we could even do like a whole episode on the differences between luxury marketing and standard marketing. But having that in mind, the luxury industry in general, one of the key factors is this heritage that they have. They really are very proud of their savoir-faire. So when it comes to social, sometimes it gets a little bit difficult because it's okay, how do we take that, let's say, exclusivity and scarcity that we are selling as a luxury brand, and put it somewhere that it's super public, because social media is reachable to anyone. How do we play with that exclusivity kind of feeling and scarcity and everything that a luxury brand has implied on something that it's so public and that everyone has a saying? There is where the real challenge is. I mean, when it comes to luxury brands, I always say you have to think they are kind of like one step behind ish. They really think about taking for example, if it's a trend or if it's something like that, they really think about it, and they really put it on the table and give it a thought. Okay, should we do it or not? Even when, with something so simple, and this is not social media specifically of this question, but I think it's interesting, even with websites, like buying something luxury from X brand online, sometimes they don't even sell it. Like, you cannot get it. Like, they don't, it's not a possibility. So something that it's, reachable to everyone, for luxury, it's not like that. So how to play with that, it's complicated, and they give it a thought. So they are always like one step behind, right? So for example, now we're seeing a lot of luxury brands starting to create like what it looks like UGC content. Obviously, on socials, all luxury brands, they can do more like behind the scenes, that could be like more, let's say trending, let's say like more trending content, but they always do it with high quality, always given a lot of storytelling. The other day I was with the digital marketing director of Moet Hennessy, one of them. She's in charge of Belgium and Luxembourg, and she said, like, for us, storytelling is everything. Everywhere where you look, a post, a story on the website, whatever, in this case, like visits to the vineyards, for example, because they what they do, right? Everything has to be linked, connected, and really in harmony with our storytelling. So for example, there's a really cool, let's say, I really like their marketing of Veuve Clicquot. Everywhere you look, on socials, that's if we stick on socials, but everywhere you go, everywhere you look, is so branded. There's always this storytelling, in this case of powerful women, really, they are really taking, it's a really special product because it comes from the land, and it's really, let's say, nature linked. So everywhere you look is storytelling. So definitely, I would say that social media for luxury brands, what they have different is always, well, they go a little behind, not late, but to trends ish. And I think here, if you want to have a look, Chanel Beauty, they are doing a great job, in my opinion, on like keeping as close as possible trends. Storytelling, a lot of storytelling, and showing really their savoir-faire. So you have, Gucci showing how they are artisans to X product, or so really they show off their brand values a lot, which sometimes on like more mass, let's say, marketing doesn't happen. So yeah, I don't know if I there's a lot of things, yeah, there's a lot of things going on, and not only in social media, as I told you, as funny, let's say, story. When the pandemic came, and there was this thing that everything was closed, luxury brands, they really faced something, because a lot of them, they didn't even have like an e-commerce, and they were like, okay, now what we do, so a lot of brands started with, and that's what they keep doing with beauty products, because it's what they call entry-level products. So an entry-level product, for example, we're talking about Chanel, would be beauty, and on the top of the pyramid would be tailor-made something, right? So they started with the bottom of we call it like the pyramid, right? So they started with the bottom, and also it's very complicated for luxury brands to maintain that kind of, I'm gonna make you feel special, that comes with it, because I mean, yes, it's pricey, it's obviously you have the quality, the savoir-faire, all this kind of stuff, but you also have the experience, right? You go to Zara, for example, you enter, you see what you like, you shop it, buy. No, you go to whichever luxury brand, Hermes, Goyard, whichever, Gucci, you enter, there's someone waiting for you, they give you a drink, whatever. So this experience is lost in e-commerce. That was another problem that they had. But how they can really, no, I'm not gonna say save it, but how they can, get to that certain level. Well, one of them is like packaging, right? So whatever you buy on a luxury shop online, you're gonna get the same package as the store, like exactly the same. So when they put online things like to buy, the first thing that was sold out on Chanel's website was like they did like some cottons, like literally cottons, but with the Chanel brand. That was the first thing was sold out. Why? Because they like people that really want something Chanel but maybe cannot afford X thing, even beauty or whatever. They wanted to get that experience, and that's really complicated to achieve online. So I thought it was something curious, and something that really demonstrates that luxury brands have to touch touch base on a lot of points that mass brands don't have to.
Yeah, fab. No, I think you explained it so well. I love how interested we are. We're sat there.
Yeah, I know, we're like, what? Yeah, no, I think we do talk about the power of storytelling quite a lot on this podcast, and quite a lot of people talk about that.
I think it's so important.
It's so important, especially with the luxury sector. Like,
definitely.
People are going to want to buy from a business with roots and meaning to what they're buying, and I think that's a really nice emphasis.
Definitely. So you touched upon this before in your last answer, which was fabulous. But other than storytelling, what do you think are the key steps for advertising and marketing a luxury product?
There's a lot, right? But storytelling, high quality, this all is more. It's true that it's marketing, but it's also like branding. I think that you have to really have your brand defined in order to market it really well, and then it comes however you market it, channels, etc., etc. But when we talk about branding, definitely storytelling, quality. Here's, I can tell you another funny story with this one, which is quality of the service, right? Of the experience, customer experience. And I did in the luxury club we have like master classes, and we get the chance to speak like top luxury professionals, and I've got the customer experience manager from Hermes, from Barcelona. And for you to have an idea of that customer relationship that they have, she told me that there was once that a customer from Hermes, they bought a Birkin. Can't remember if it was tailor-made or not, but they bought a Birkin, and Hermes offers you like shipping. So you can go to the shop and say, okay, I want this, but I want you to ship it somewhere. So this client wanted to be shipped to the UK, but she had to, the Birkin had to be there for X date. And they're like, no worries, because we actually have a service going out tomorrow, and it will be there for sure. She was like, perfect. So she left, and they realized that on the next day or the following day, the Birkin wasn't shipped. So they found themselves that the next shipping was the following week, which would be late. So what did they do? Because they have to do something, they cannot leave that customer just hanging out there. So what they did is someone from the team, they bought a plane ticket, and they went to whatever, they knocked on the door, here's your package. So that demonstrates the detail and the kind of relationship that luxury brands have to comply with their clients, which is super important, because if not, it doesn't make sense, right? And it also, you can see it even if you're not, let's say, even a customer yet, when you go to the shops, what we talked before. So that's really important. Now we're also seeing a lot of brand ambassadors going on, for example, now that Emily in Paris new season is out, Lily Collins, she has, her agenda full of collaborations. And especially because she's treating with this luxury industry, it just makes sense, right? But I saw a really cool, for example, ad that I don't know what I got it, but it was from the I don't know how it's the US. It's like the part of the government of the US that takes care of expat voters. So like this wing that makes sure that you apply for you to receive at your home, wherever you're in the world, the votes, like with for you to vote. And she was doing an ad on that, like, hey, if you're in US expat, you have a saying, you can vote, it's really important. And it was like, what? I don't know what I got it, because I'm Spanish, but it was really cool. I even recorded. So all these brand collaborations in luxury industry, they are really important as well. And I think one that sets apart, and it's not really a collaboration, but it's when Louis Vuitton appointed Pharrell Williams as creative director. For me, that was like, well, for a lot of people, because he's related with music, and it's not. So it was a little bit like, what is going on, right? But it's this new trend, or trying to be more modern, that luxury brands are trying. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things that going on luxury marketing and branding. Definitely there's a lot of reports. There's by Altrata, for example, that are really interesting to have a read. So yeah, but I mean, we could talk about definitely a lot of things, but storytelling, quality, brand ambassadors, savoir-faire, this heritage, customer experience. There's a lot of things.
Love that.
Perfect, yeah.
I just want to talk about, so a little project that you're doing at the moment is called the Luxury Club. Is that right? Yes. So you built like an incredible kind of platform around this called the Luxury Club, which I'll ask you to talk about in a second. And I just wanted to talk about the power of networking, because obviously you work with some of the most incredible brands. You've got connections with some of the most incredible brands. I just wanted to ask like how you got into those opportunities and into those rooms in the first place, and then also a little bit about your luxury club.
Yeah. So about I always think that the luxury industry, and I keep thinking that, but at the end you learn, right? And I managed my way, and I'm gonna tell you how I did it. So basically, the luxury industry, it feels, we have the feeling that it's a really closed industry, like very exclusive, right? Like the product. And yes, it's true, but it doesn't have to. And I'm gonna say something, and if I was a listener of the podcast and I will listen to this, I would say, oh yeah, sure. But I swear that this is what I did. So I simply reach out to people, like literally on LinkedIn, on Instagram even, and again, if I was listening to this, I would say like, yeah, sure. Like, I'm not gonna contact. But I think that the key here of who to contact, and maybe this is we can apply this not only for luxury industry, but for every industry, would be find the right person to connect with. So, for example, if you want to connect with someone from Ferrari, maybe the CEO is not the right person to connect, right? But maybe someone from the team of marketing, if you introduce yourself and you know, just put your heart out, like, you know, don't sell. For me, also, especially with big brands, it's very important for you to be mindful, to be demure. No, I'm kidding.
I love it.
I know when I say mindful, is what it comes to my mind. I'm sorry.
I love
you
that.
Need to know it.
I couldn't help it. So you really be mindful. Obviously, the CEO is not gonna reply to you, or yes, maybe the secretary. I've got once luck with Bombardier. They are like one of the top premium top private jet builders. So I wrote to the CEO, and his secretary replied to me, and today I'm collaborating with him.
Well done.
Wow,
Yeah, that's amazing.
Exciting.
It's just reach out, I was like, what is the worst that can happen? That just left me unseen. Well, I've been there, done that, but still won't hurt my feelings, So just reach out. I used LinkedIn and Instagram, I have to say, and just try to find the right person. And if you really want to collaborate with someone, with Bombardier, it took me 6 months, I think. Yeah, to really meet with someone and collaborate together. Like, if you're persistent and you really want to do, there's gonna be someone out there willing to help always. That's the experience I've got. So I would say just reach out, have a plan, like, okay, if I really want to work with this brand, let's see who I can contact with. Which means I'm gonna use LinkedIn, Instagram. Can I get some email? And then be really personal. Here it's not, I'm gonna send the same email message to absolutely everyone I want to connect with. And if not, always you can build first a relationship and then have a direct contact. That means, I'm a huge fan of LinkedIn. So, commenting on their posts, liking, even if nothing happens, maybe he or she sees it. And from all these, I told you, it took me 6 months. For all these months, they say, okay, we're gonna, just even if it's just for you to shut up, please, and just stop contacting us, which is not, it kind of, it never happened to me. It can be, like, we're not really interested, please leave us alone, right? But like nicer. Yeah. But yeah, that's how I built up my network. I have to say, I have a little bit of cheating living in Monaco. It's true that living in Monaco, it opens also a lot of doors. And it's very easy for us to get to, let's say, higher positions on companies, even big or smaller, just because the team is really small, right? So for us to, for example, contact the director of Cartier, it might be easier than in Paris, right? Because, and at the end, Monaco is really small. And in summer, there's a lot of people, but in winter, there's super few people. So at the end, we know each other, so it's easier. So that's my cheating, but yeah.
You're going to inspire. Yeah, I think like all our podcast listeners are just going to decide to move to Monaco now.
That's fab.
Yeah.
But you basically, you're just on it with the questions today, but sort of linking in with that again, how do you attract those high net worth individuals, net worth, not network? Yeah. But I feel like because your product you're selling, they are for, you know, those ultra high net worth people. How do you even reach them in the first place? Because I don't know if they're going to be scrolling through Instagram. So what's your way around that?
Okay, so first thing I have to say is I have a lot when we're pitching services, for example, and for social media specifically, or I'm gonna say social media or online, digital, anything. You know, a lot of people or businesses, the first thing they say is, "Oh no, high net worth individuals are not on Instagram, are not on social media." Lie. That's really not true. I know a lot of them and they do have Instagram, but the thing is that they are not influencers, right? There's a lot of like new, and especially in Monaco, we have more like this old money and the new rich. It's true that they show up. So I can tell you some, you know, I could tell you, I'm not going to tell you, but I could tell you some, you know, people, usernames, whatever, that they really like to, you know, show what they've got, or if they, you know, their experiences, if they got a new car, and they are really active and, let's say, public on Instagram, let's say. And some, they are not. They have their account in private, they have a random picture, and you don't know who they are, but they are there. They are there.
Perfect. Yeah. Everything you need to know. Yeah. I think people do think in their head it's so hard to reach, you know, those ultra high net worth people, and you've just told us how to. So that's perfect.
Also, I can give you a tip on that. There's something inside the industry, which is called like the millionaires calendar. So every year there's X events that happen, and it always happen between like the same seasons, not exactly, not maybe dates, but that you can, you know, reach to them and create a strategy around that. So for example, now I'm already thinking on Christmas, okay, because I'm you know how strategy works, that we always go 3 steps forward. But Christmas, New Year's Eve, I'm not saying everyone, but most of them, it's typical that they spend New Year's Eve and Christmas in St. Barth's. So people from St. Barth wake up, you know, 3 months in advance and create a strategy on, if you're a restaurant, on how to attract them, you know, on, oh, we have a special, you know, menu, I don't know, party going on for New Year's Eve. Yacht brokers, have your strategy ready. If you want to spend the New Year's Eve on a yacht, which is the most typical thing to do there, book now because limited places, blah, blah, blah. So, you know, there's this calendar that it's like by seasons. For example, we have the here in Monaco, it's really depends. Here in Monaco, it's different, I have to say. But we have the tennis, for example, or then we have the F1, though the F1 is a kind of mix because there's a lot of also like fans of the F1. But you know, there's this calendar, you can search it online, and it will give you some, you know, idea on where to go and where to market.
That's such a good idea. I love that.
We're going to look at tonight, where we need to go on holiday.
Yeah.
Somewhere we need to go, which is fun. We got one more question. We're going to the quiz.
Yeah, I have one more question.
Go on.
So I wanted to talk about product launches, brand launches, because that's obviously a really big thing when it comes to social media marketing, when you've got something coming up, kind of building up the hype. And I just wanted to ask basically how you would do that differently in the luxury sector compared to the normal standard product.
The standard, yes, of course. I mean, there's a lot of things implied there. But for example, for us, brand ambassadors has been a really nice, let's say, strategy to go for. We have amazing brand ambassadors for the Luxury Club, for example. We have people from Ferrari, people from Hermes, um, people from Moet Hennessy. So we really have huge brands, but we also have smaller brands. Why? Because as I told you before, community is a big part of the industry and of the audience, right? So it's really important to have someone behind that trusts in our product, that trusts in our project, and really gives us some positioning, right? So that would be applied for all the brands, really. um a lot of storytelling. I know we're saying the same things, but it's so important. A lot of storytelling. And I can give you here an example. For example, for the Luxury Club, the storytelling is, um we saw a gap in the market after working with such um you know amazing people from the luxury industry. We saw a gap in the market, which is there's no online place where you can learn and connect with luxury industry and luxury industry professionals. So basically, if you want to learn about luxury industry and specifically marketing, normally you have to go to a university. In terms of economically and of time, it's really like it's you really have to put a lot of time and money on that. And especially marketing, next month it's going to be outdated because there will be no trends, there will be new audiences, etc, etc. So it's like kind of pointless.
So it is the time of the episode that you've probably been dreading. It's our favourite bit. We love it. The quiz. So we have our little timer going. 30 seconds, you know the drill. Name as many, everything at this point.
Everything. We've got platform updates, trends, whatever you can that's happened in the social media industry.
Name it.
In the last couple of weeks.
Yeah.
In 30 seconds.
It's exciting. Okay, so.
Okay. Hold on. Last couple weeks. Okay, I will do it for me.
Yeah, that's fine.
I have one in mind that it just updated for me, which it looked like this absolutely everyone had before, but not me.
That's fine. It's fine.
That's tricky.
What's the record to beat? 5?
I think the record is 6.
Oh, 6. Okay.
So.
Ready? 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, so I'm getting a lot of Ipo memes. I'm getting a lot of like dolphins going on, like really.
About that the other week, yeah.
UGC, I would say for luxury brands, especially Chanel Beauty, it's really cool. TikTok notes, the new font on Instagram that absolutely everyone has but me. Then everything Sabrina Carpenter, the Rosa, que linda eres, and I don't know.
Stop.
Wow, that was fab. You got
that a new
7.
record?
That's a new record. Well done, Carolina.
How
Top of the
exciting.
leaderboard.
For example, I have, because I've been recording like UGC content for luxury brands, and it's becoming a thing now, and it's not really like a trend like for standard. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna say that, but if you heard to the episode, you will understand why I said UGC.
Exactly, which is perfect. But thank you so much for being a guest on this week's episode. It was amazing.
Thank you for having me. Definitely, it's been a pleasure to chat with you. You're amazing professionals, and I really loved it. So thank you so much.
Yeah, and before we go, Carolina, where can people find you?
Okay, so they can find me on LinkedIn, Carolina González, which might be a little tricky, so maybe we can put it on the notes of the podcast. And then on Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, everything, they can find the agency under Luxury Marketing Monaco.
It's amazing.
She knows her
so
stuff.
Insightful.
Yeah, definitely. I think luxury marketing, like we said, isn't something we touch on much.
Yeah.
Glad we finally get to talk about it.
I know, and I'm really, really excited to research that millionaire's calendar.
Oh yeah, we're going to have a look.
Oh, yeah.
It's our new holidays for the next year are being planned straight away.
Absolutely.
But make sure you check out all of Carolina's information below. Go follow her on LinkedIn and Instagram. she's great. She's a good connection to have.
Absolutely,
with it now,
as we know,
connections.
yeah.
But thank you so much for watching this week's episode, and tune in next week as always.
Bye.